Murray State hotter than a mint Tatiana. LSU and Arkansas, the two betting favorites, going at it in the first round. Can Coastal Carolina win their second World Series in 9 years? I guess we're going to find out as we get the College World Series underway Friday afternoon, folks. Yep, it is still one of the best times of the year. Baseball season, the College World Series is on. We're down to, there was once 64 teams 2 weeks ago, and now we're down to the top 8. We got LSU, Arkansas, Arizona, Coastal Carolina, Louisville, UCLA, Murray State, yes, Murray State as a 4 seed making their first College World Series of making the first College World Series in their program's history. It's gonna be electric, folks. It's gonna be electric. I can't not wait. And I don't know who I forgot on this list, but that was 7 teams I named off. And you can't forget about the Oregon State Beavers. They're looking to win one. They want to be excited. And I'm so excited I can't even contain myself. And it gets all underway Friday. So here's your schedule. Arizona, Coastal Carolina, they started off first. Louisville and Oregon State, you got the nightcap on Friday. And look at this Saturday slate, baby. Murray State versus UCLA of the Big Ten. Then you got the 2 betting favorites, LSU and Arkansas. Woo! Folks, if that don't fire you up, I don't know what will. Because I'm pretty freaking fired up if you can't tell. Because 64 teams started this tournament with one hope of getting to Omaha, Nebraska. That team, now we're down to 8 teams. Friday and Saturday, you start your double elimination part, just like the first weekend. If you're new here, the first weekend of the college of the tournament is double elimination. So what happens here is all 8 teams, they're split up into 2 pods of 4. Pod 1 will start on Friday, and pod 2 will start on Saturday. They'll go through double elimination until we get down to 1. Once we get down to 1 for each pod, we do what we did this past weekend and play a best of 3 series Saturday, Sunday, and if it's necessary on Monday. So there is a lot of baseball this week and a lot to figure out because you got Friday baseball, Saturday baseball, elimination games on Sunday, elimination games on Monday. Tuesday you got the winners games. Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, is your if necessary games. If both pods need to go to game 7s. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we're going to find out who's going to be our champion. And I can't wait to break this down for you guys. So let's get into it about this past weekend. And what better off than to start with Coastal Carolina and Auburn. Coming into this weekend, I thought, well, Auburn potentially could be a lock. They're playing at home. Well, I'll admit when I'm wrong. Coastal Carolina, they proved me wrong this weekend. They proved me really wrong. 23 straight wins after their 2-game sweep of Auburn. They go into a Plainsman Park in Auburn, Alabama, and get the job done against a top 4 national seed in the Auburn Tigers. And they really played a complete series there. And if I look at the what I got in my notes right here, they take game 1 7-6 in 10 innings, and then they're trailing 1-0 most of the game in game 2. But what do? They come back, score, rally in the 7th inning, score some runs, and beat the Tigers 4-1, and boom, they punch their ticket to Omaha. And not too long ago, 9 years to be exact, their first time ever in the College World Series, they won the whole freaking thing. They won the whole freaking thing their first time. And it's funny that I'm wearing LSU gear right now. They beat the Tigers that year in the Super Regionals, I believe. Beat the Tigers in Alec-a-Box Stadium, punch their ticket to the World Series, and went over there and won it. And I don't think this team is any different. I don't. If I'm looking at the sides of the bracket, I would bet on this right now, I'm absolutely taking Coastal Carolina. I'm absolutely taking them. Great program they got down in Conway down there. Running a great program. When I say I was wrong, I was dead wrong, because I didn't even think they were making it out of their own regional. I didn't think they would survive the first weekend. But they win the first weekend. Tough weekend. They had Florida and a pesky East Carolina team that weekend. And then, as the 13th seed, you're going to the 4th seed Auburn Tigers, who have playing pretty good ball, play in the SEC, play a tough schedule. And what do? They sweep them. They sweep the Tigers on the road. And they bring a super regional title back to Conway, South Carolina. And now they're going to get on an airplane here in a couple days, and they're going to fly to Omaha, Nebraska. Rightfully so, should they be in Omaha, Nebraska. There was talks that they could be a top 8 national seed before the brackets came out. And they got 13. They're a heck of a 13 seed. Heck of a 13 seed. They didn't kill the Tigers all weekend, but here's what they do. Weather delay in game 1. Weather delay. You never know how a team's going to come out of weather delay. Come out flat, come out hot. Both teams had to battle weather delay. What do? They get this game into extra innings. Top of the 10th inning, Caden Bodine, go ahead, moon rocket over left field. Left field, and if you're not familiar with Auburn's Park, left field, think about Fenway Park, about the Green Monster. Auburn got the college version of that thing. He hit one over that wall, give Coastal Carolina a 7-6 lead, and they hold on in the bottom of the 10th. Boom, you're up 1-0 in the driver's seat. They're up 1-0 in the driver's seat. Saturday, Auburn needs to bounce back. So we're in a pitcher's duel. We're playing defense. Defense is kind of the name of the game right here. Auburn's leading 1-0. Coastal's able to come back, tie the game. They rally in the 7th, 4-1 lead. They're the home team Saturday night as a home and the away flip. And Coastal beats them. Coastal rallies on Saturday, beats them, sweeps the Tigers, and now they're going to Omaha, Nebraska, a team where every team's dream of. That is a really cool story, but I can't tell you what a better story is in the Murray State Racers, who's going to be racing to Omaha. And I had to look up where Murray State was today. They're just a small school in Kentucky. And you know what Kentucky has? They have a lot of horses. And their mascot's a horse. So they're going to get on their horses, and for the first time ever in program history, they're going to hop on their horses and go down to Nebraska. Actually, they might. They'll probably just hop on a plane, honestly. But I kind of thought that was kind of a cool thing to say right there. So I think it was funny. So we'll see what you guys think. So the Racers are going to Nebraska. They're going to Omaha. I mean, it wasn't easy for Murray State, as I mean, they lose 7-4 on Friday. Or Saturday, excuse me. So you're thinking, well, this Cinderella team this Cinderella team's on the ropes. They had 17 hits on Saturday. They scored 19 runs. They beat Duke by 10 runs. A 19-9 victory for the Racers. That's a heck of a way of bouncing back. Heck of a way of bouncing back. It's hard to put up runs in college baseball. It's hard. Baseball's hard. Sometimes you might score 1 run. Sometimes you might score 19. Murray State scores 19 runs. They beat Duke 19-9. So all of a sudden, they got a little momentum heading into Monday. And then Monday comes along. What happens on Monday, you might ask? Well, I might have an answer for you. Murray State wins the game. Murray State wins 2 straight at Duke on Duke's home field, and now they're going to Omaha. All right, but Monday got a little controversial at the end because, I mean, they had to, there was a play at second base, one out in the bottom of the 9th, ground ball, throws it to second, 1 gone, but the Duke runner slides into the Murray State player. It looks vicious. I mean, that play looked absolutely vicious watching it live. And then looks vicious watching live. So initially they call the runner at first out. That's the ball game, folks. That's the ball game. Murray State's dogpiling. Woo! Woo! Murray State's dogpiling. But wait. Duke does the whole check the headset thing, and the umpires agree. So they're going to go to review, which I think's the correct call right there. They called a double play on the play. It looked vicious. It looked like the runner was in the baseline, and the second baseman wasn't going to be able to make the play at first. So I totally understand what the umpire saw on the field. Well, they go to replay for, it felt like probably 10 minutes. It was probably more 4 or 5 minutes. And they got the call right initially. But there's only there's going to be the umpires come back. They announced there was no interference at all at second base, so now there's 2 gone. Now, I think that gotta be the toughest thing in sports right there, for a team to be dogpiling, celebrating, thinking the game's over. You're ready to go home and celebrate and bring a big win back to your university. But there's only 26 outs and you gotta face the next batter. And folks, I would be lying if I said it would have been epic. If it would have been I would have probably been sick to my stomach if Murray State would have lost this game with what I'm about ready to say. If Duke would have hit a homer right there, if the next guy at the plate would have absolutely just nuked a homer in the bottom of the ninth with a runner on for Duke to win the ball game, that would have been like, I don't know where in sports history that would match up, but for one team, that would absolutely suck. For the other team, you're like a sports legend because there's a team celebrating too early, and then it appeared they didn't have all 27 outs in the ball game. But that don't happen. Duke ain't able to push any runs across. Ground out to the first baseman, and congratulations, Murray State, you are celebrating. So Murray State goes into Durham, North Carolina at Duke University and pulls off a massive upset. I mean, that's a massive upset. That's the first time you ever made it to Omaha in school history. So why don't you just go win the freaking thing? That's what Murray State's saying right now. We're in Omaha, Nebraska. We might as well go win the freaking thing. I mean, they already went to Oxford and beat an SEC school on their home field. So what's navigating through the College World Series? It should be a piece of cake, right? Well, not exactly, because we got the 2 betting favorites on that side of the bracket, but a lot of Murray State's a 4 seed, and they're going to play with nothing to lose. That is a scary team right there. That is a really scary team right there. A team that's playing nothing to lose. I mean, we've seen it with the Little Rock Trojans and the LSU Tigers. Little Rock, statistically the worst RPI and maybe the worst team even in the field, forced LSU to have to play a Game 7 in the first round of the regionals, and LSU had to sweat that one out. Anything can happen in baseball, and I mean, we could potentially see Murray State and Coastal Carolina play for the playing the championship series and win the whole thing. That's how baseball works, folks. It's a funny game. But Murray State as the 4 seed, what an incredible story. What an incredible story, and I couldn't be more happier for the Racers as they get to go experience Omaha. That's just cool right there, and it's just a great story. A great underdog story. I mean, I seen something on Twitter today. Their field ain't very big at all. It holds maybe 800 people. So, I mean, just incredible what that program has done. And I couldn't be more excited to see what the Racers can do in the College World Series. All right, now we talked about the some underdogs right here. So now let's start going into the favorites here, and let's talk about Arizona now and North Carolina, their series. Now, I've been saying for the last 20 minutes that these Murray State and Coastal Carolina, how cool it would be if they could win a national championship. But, I mean, North Carolina on Friday night, they looked undoubtedly like a national championship contender. They put up 18 runs and beat Arizona 18-2. And then it's just, it kind of unraveled on the weekend for them. I mean, they're up 8-6 on Saturday afternoon, but Arizona rallies in the bottom of the 7th inning and takes a 10-8 lead. And that would be your final score, as Arizona rallied, took the lead, and was able to navigate through the later innings of the ball game and able to even the series up as you're going into Sunday's decisive Game 3 at noon. Arizona needed a win Saturday, a forced Sunday, and that's what they did. Well, on a Sunday, you're in a defensive pitcher's duel matchup type of thing. Both teams want it really bad, and I said it on the last show that when North Carolina plays at the Bosch, they're a really good ball team down at the Bosch right there. Really good, really good. And you've seen that on Friday. They look like the national championship contenders. It looked like maybe Coastal Carolina. It's going to be a battle between Coastal Carolina and North Carolina, who battle out that first pot or bracket or whatever you want to call it. It looked like North Carolina was maybe even one of the top favorite to make the championship series and even win it in front of LSU or Arkansas. Well, Arizona did enough on Sunday, as they were able to go in there to North Carolina and win back-to-back games, win that game on Sunday, and now they're going back to Omaha. So Arizona, they go in there, lose the first one 18-2, and that has to be tough to come back from, losing 18-2 on Friday afternoon. It has to be tough to get beat like that, and come back on and have to win 2 in a row to punch your ticket to Omaha. But Arizona, they're a good team. They won a really good Eugene Regional down in Oregon, and they showed it this past weekend as they go into North Carolina and able to upset them for them to go to Omaha. And it takes a lot of resilience to get beat that bad on Friday night and then turn around and win the next 2 in what they did. It takes a lot of resilience, and they bounced back really good and was able to get the victory right there on Saturday and Sunday. And now you're talking about potential of winning a national championship here. So, I think this year for college baseball, everything is wide open for college baseball this year. I would not be surprised to see who wins it. I don't think there's a strictly dominant team that's just going to run right through Omaha and wipe everything out. I don't think there's that team this year that's just going to run straight through and then absolutely sweep the World Series. Now, I could be dead wrong. We could see an LSU or an Arkansas or an Arizona go undefeated in the double elimination part and sweep the World Series and win the whole thing. They could win 5 games in a row and boom, they're national champions. But I don't think any of that's going to happen. I just do not see it. I think it is so wide open this year. I think this is a year you could see someone you don't even expect to come in and win. I think it's that type of year. I really think it's that type of year, honestly, if I'm being honest here. And let's go to this UCLA and this UTSA matchup. Of course, the Roadrunners was able to go into Austin and knock off Texas. So they knock off Texas. UCLA, they take care of business in their regional round. And now them two, they're going to meet up. And it was a really good series for the Bruins. It was a really good series because UTSA had a lot of confidence going into Los Angeles down there, hoping they'd be able to find a way to win 2 out of 3 against the Bruins right there. But UCLA took care of business. I mean, Friday was a good ball game between both teams. It wasn't really someone ran away from anyone on that night. It was a 5-2 UCLA win. I mean, UCLA really didn't take control of that ball game until later of the innings. So it was really anyone's game right there in the first stages of the ball game right there. So so it was a well played ball game. I'm sure UTSA had their chances. I didn't watch much of it, but I'm sure UTSA had their chances. But UCLA gets the gritty 5-2 win there on Friday. On that regional started on Saturday, I believe. So they get the win, and the next night UCLA just a little too much for the Roadrunners as they pitch a 7-0 shutout, and they're going to go to Omaha for the first time since 2013. So there's a lot of teams in this tournament this year that has not really been there recently. I think the most recent one to be in the tournament is LSU in 2023. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, and I'm almost pretty positive that LSU is the most recent team to be there, as none of the 8 Omaha teams from last year are not in it this year. Arkansas was there in 2022, so they'll be back coming this year. And then I think let's go into our game of the of games of the weekend. I'd say games of the weekend, and I'd say the games of the weekend would be Tennessee and Arkansas. So both of them, they win their home series. So we got our first all SEC matchup in the super regional round. Which, pause here for a second. I'll come back to my initial thought right there. What absolutely sucks right now, going into the first day of the World Series, is LSU and Arkansas have to play each other. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that game is going to be electric, and the viewership is going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be a Saturday night in prime time. A primetime Saturday night game between two of the top teams in the SEC, LSU and Arkansas. But it just absolutely sucks. It's going to have to start off that way. Because I said there's plenty of teams that can win this tournament, but it just absolutely sucks that these are the two best teams in the tournament, and they gotta play on Saturday. It's just how the bracket fell and everything, but that just kind of stinks right there as a fan, and uh, everyone would just like to see maybe game one be the deciding series if both teams could get there. But I'm not saying LSU and Arkansas could play 2 or 3 times against each other. So I mean, they're already familiar with each other. They met in Baton Rouge, and LSU beats them twice, 2 out of 3 times down there in Baton Rouge. But I think Arkansas, they're going to have some revenge on their mind after what happened down at LSU earlier in the year. And that was kind of when LSU was struggling a little bit to find the bats, but LSU has not lost a home series this year. But it's going to be interesting between the Tigers and the Razorbacks on a Saturday night, and maybe even a couple more times. But let's go back to the Tennessee and the Arkansas series. I thought this was going to be the series of the weekend, and statistically in rivalries, I think it was. I think behind this series was probably I'd probably say I was after. Now I was LSU. I mean, they're my number one. I haven't missed a game all year watching them. They absolutely they're my number one. But I'm going to take LSU out. LSU's kind of like non-existent right here. I'm not talking from an LSU perspective now. I'm talking about just as a straight fan perspective right here. Because if I could say the series I was looking most forward to would be LSU or West Virginia. But professionally, as a fan, or as someone, as a fan, and taking LSU out, I'd say Tennessee and Arkansas was going to be the series of the weekend. And then I'd say Coastal Carolina and Auburn was in second. So that's who I'd say was probably the top two weekend matchups. So those were the top two. And I mean, game one was really good between the Razorbacks and the Volunteers. It was a really good game between the two. I got my notes right here, so that's what I'm looking at, folks. If you're kind of wondering, I wanted to create some notes so I could go over. I was just gonna kind of let whatever comes in my head just talk about it, but I was about 3 o'clock today. I was like, I'm gonna write some notes, so I do got some notes right here I'm looking at. So if you're just a little curious why I might be looking away a little bit, I got some notes. But back to Tennessee and Arkansas. I mean, game one was what you really expected, honestly. It was back and forth. It was back and forth, honestly. Dean Curley got Tennessee on the board with a 2-run shot, 2-0, 2-0 for the Volunteers, and then Ryder Helfrich a two-run home run in the bottom of the inning gave Arkansas the 3-2 lead, and that kind of held for the Razorbacks right there. Tennessee kind of had that early lead, kind of put the first couple runs on the board, but Arkansas was able to come back, hit a 2-run homer right there, and was able to just kind of control the rest of the game and win that one 4-3. And then game two was an 11-4 win for the Razorbacks, and that's kind of surprising. an 11-4 win right there, because on the Tennessee side of things, you had your star pitcher, and probably he could probably go number one in the MLB draft this year. Tennessee had Liam Doyle on the mound, but Doyle just didn't have the stuff right. Didn't have the stuff he usually has in that game right there. But I think most of it is probably he actually he pitched in the he pitched as normal in the regional round, and then they needed him to come back on in the last on Monday in the regional round, and he came out and pitched a couple innings. So that probably could have been part of why he didn't have that's why he probably didn't go deep or didn't look like he normally does and got chased out a little early. That could be part of it, that he had to pitch earlier in the week and he didn't have as much time to rest, and he threw a lot of pitches the weekend prior. But I don't know. I'm just guessing right here. I don't really know. I'm just really making a guess from what I've seen and what possibly could have been there. That's just my guess, that he threw a lot of high leverage pitches early in the week to get him to this point. But yeah, it was a really good weekend for the Razorbacks as they clinch that series on Saturday on Sunday. They clinched the series on Sunday, and good for Dave Van Horn's group to get back there, and hopefully they can get themselves. They were close against Oregon State one year to a national championship, and they just. I mean, there was a pop up in the infield and foul territory right there, and they don't make the play. And sometimes when you don't make plays, it extends innings, and they didn't make that play. It extended the inning, and the rest was kind of history right there, as they couldn't get it done. But Dave Van Horn's group is in the Razorbacks are back in Omaha, and this year they kind of hope it's their year. They're gonna really hope it's their year, and they got really good. I think Arkansas, top to bottom, is probably the most talented team in this. They're probably the most well-rounded. They're a well-rounded team, is what I'd consider Arkansas. They got good pitching. They can hit the ball, and they can find way to win games. I mean, they're going to face some tough competition down there, especially on the first night they open play. But Arkansas is a well-rounded team, and I think that's why they're probably projected right now to win the World Series. To win the World Series. So I think I saw earlier that they are the highest projected to win the World Series, and LSU, and from what I saw, Coastal Carolina was following third right there. So I think that's your top three on your betting apps, I think. But I could be wrong. I'm going to check this out for you guys, folks. I'm going to slide over here to a FanDuel, and let's see if I can find some information for you guys about betting. Now I'm going to say this, folks. I'm not a very good bettor, and do not take any of my betting advice. I'm not here to tell you who to bet, but I'm just going to tell you the favorites right here. Let's see if I can find the favorites for you guys right here. Let's see where the College World Series is at right here. So here is here is a future for the crap, I picked my nose. I'm sorry, folks. I got an itch right here. I didn't know what I was doing. That could go on the blooper. That could honestly go on the blooper reel if I made one, but I'm not a very good producer either, so just forgive me if I scratch my nose, cause it's kind of itching. But here is your betting favorites: Arkansas, LSU, Coastal Carolina in third, Oregon State, UCLA, Arizona, Louisville, and Murray State. Those are your betting favorites in order to win the College World Series. So, I'm not going to tell you who to bet, cause I don't. But if you guys want to bet, those are your betting favorites as of right now. So, I thought I'd share that with you guys. But, I might actually put a parlay down on this one, but I don't know. I'm not huge into. I'd say I've betted before and betted my fair share of times, but I don't know if I'm gonna really bet this, because I'm one of them guys that make the hellacious 22-leg parlay right there, and it's never gonna hit. But if it hits at one time, I'm gonna be able to. If it hits at one time, I'm gonna be able to buy the Grand Canyon or something. But those ones never hit, and I'll tell you, here's my best betting advice I can tell you guys. I don't bet on my favorite teams. I don't bet on them. I can't, because I want to just enjoy watching these teams and feel the stressfulness of them. So I don't bet on the Tigers. I don't bet on any of my favorite professional teams, really. I live in Ohio. I consider myself, I do root for Ohio State. I don't know where I'm going with this right now. I'm a die-hard LSU fan, folks. I'm a die-hard, but sometimes it's tough living in Ohio, as I get a lot of crap. But I'll put this out there for the world to know right now. I do root for the Buckeyes. I do root for them to win. I live in a house full. My dad and my brother are Ohio State fans through and through. And there's nothing more disappointing to see the Buckeyes or the Tigers lose. So I kind of hate it when the Buckeyes lose, and I root for them. I root for the Buckeyes, but here's the kicker: if they ever play LSU in any sporting event at all, I don't care if it's women's gymnastics to softball to I don't care if there's boat racing. If LSU and Ohio State were playing in were boat racing each other, LSU all freaking day. Go Tigers! Go Tigers! LSU all freaking day, and I'm blood. And I know there's an Ohio State flag behind my head, but before long that thing's gonna be changed. I bet you can't guess what I'm changing it to. And if you did, congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back. I might as well tell you. I'm wearing that collar. I'm wearing that collar. A lot of people around my area do not like this collar. They do not like this collar. But I just seem to wear this collar all the time. Purple and gold. Purple and gold. Before long, there will be an LSU flag behind there. And I promise you folks, once I finally get it all settled up there, we'll get a tour of the podcast dome. We'll get a tour of this podcast dome. So if you folks are just tuning in here, or you're tuned in every day, just waiting for that podcast dome tour to come, it's coming, folks. I just got a little work to do up here. I'm still working on my setup, but it's good for now. I finally got a desk. It it's better than what I filmed on last time. So I'm already upgraded to a nice bigger desk, as you would say. But we'll get the old podcast dome. We'll get a tour of up here sometime. But I mean, if I look around here, it's coming along. It's just a process, and it's been a busy week, and today's one of them days I could film, which let actually talking about filming right now. I'm thinking every Monday or Tuesday actually I'm going to drop videos on YouTube. All right, we'll just I'll give you guys a little heads up. I was going to put this on Apple and Spotify podcasts, but now I have decided I am going exclusively YouTube. I think I got the looks, and I think I can host a little podcast TV show on YouTube. And if you guys are watching and you guys watch my first video, I really appreciate everyone who tuned in and watched the first video. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't watched watch it yet, you can check out my first video as well as this one. But as always, just hit that subscribe button right there and like and follow for all your exclusive content of the Coastal Smoke podcast. And I get of the yep. As always, follow on X, Instagram, and TikTok. I posted a really cool video about the podcast Doom today. I mean, it might be one of the cheesiest videos I made, but I thought the little segment bit I posted on there was kind of cool of that I'd be doing what I'm doing today. I thought it was cool that of what I posted, but it don't. I think I said this on the last show. It does not take a whole lot to amuse me. But yeah, I thought I'd tell you guys that exclusively on YouTube. So hit that smash button, like it, follow, subscribe to YouTube, follow, subscribe to Instagram, TikTok, and X. So that's how you can find me, folks. And let's get back to the baseball talk. I kind of lost my thought a little bit right here. So we haven't talked about Louisville or Miami yet. So let's go over that one before I get to probably the part where I'm going to take 45 minutes to talk about. So let's knock out Louisville and Miami here for a moment. So this game actually went to 3 ball games. It was Louisville took Friday 8-1. Miami with a 9-6 win on Saturday, and on Sunday it was Louisville again 3-2. So the Cardinals are making a trip back to Omaha. So we'll see what the Cards got in store, and they were the beneficiary of hosting that Super Regional, as they won the Nashville Super Regional, who was they won the Nashville Super Regional, edging out I think it was they edged out someone in that regional. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they won that regional, and they were able to host a Super Regional, and that was an all ACC matchup right there. So we had a couple of all league matchups right there. The ACC had a matchup. The SEC had a matchup. We've seen some West Coast teams have matchups before, but the West Coast is pretty much represented well in Omaha with Arizona and UCLA's in there, Oregon State. So the West Coast, as long as a couple teams down south having a nice little postseason run, And let's talk about the Tigers now. Let's talk about the LSU Fighting Tigers and how they got to Omaha over West Virginia. They got to Omaha in a series sweep fashion, but I mean, this series was way beyond what the score said. So it was a pretty wild series that had us LSU fans on the edge of our seat a couple times. Uh, Game one was an absolutely offensive onslaught for the Tigers right there. They put up 16 runs, hit 2 grand slams, and a 3-run homer in that game. Yeah, it was kind of tight early in that game as West Virginia scored early in the ball game, but it was LSU who Derek Couriel for the Tigers hits a 3-run homer, and the Tigers got the 3-1 lead. And then here's where I think it unraveled for the Mountaineers right there. It was probably maybe 5 innings right there that West Virginia had their starter through. They were down 3-1. And here's a head scratching decision by the Mountaineers right here. They pulled their starter. All right, they pulled him. He was doing all right. He kept in the ball game he kept the Mountaineers in the ball game. But then what you did in the bullpen was kind of like, are we really going to play for Saturday and not try to win this one? They went to the bullpen and didn't even bring their best bullpen arms out in a 3-1 game. Yeah, I think as a fan that would just be absolutely tough to see right there, but maybe they had a really good weekend last weekend or something that made the West Virginia coach decide to go to them, but I don't really know what the philosophy was bringing them guys in compared to what the Tigers seen on Saturday night, which was their best bullpen arms. But I don't know, but I mean the Tigers, credit to them, they took advantage because Stephen Milam, he's getting really hot for the Tigers at the right time. Had a really good 2 weekends of baseball. He hit a grand slam. And then the Josh Pearson. Josh Pearson, he's a die-hard Tiger through and through. I absolutely enjoy watching him. He was on that 2023 LSU team that won the national championship. So he has Omaha experience, but it's so awesome to see Josh Pearson hit a grand slam on Saturday afternoon. That's just awesome to watch. And like I said, I watch a lot of LSU baseball. Like I said, I don't miss a game. I don't miss the game when the Tigers are playing, and I am locked in from first pitch until the final out. I don't care if it is 3 a.m. Eastern time. I am absolutely locked in. But going back to Josh Pearson, it's just awesome to see him hit a grand slam right there. It's just awesome. It's awesome to see a guy that stuck with the program for 4 years. He's probably the leader, one of the big leaders on that team. So, I mean, he seems like a great person, Tiger through and through, and that's what you love to see when a guy like that, who he hasn't been in the everyday lineup all the time. He's been in and out with Jake Brown in the outfield right there, as them two share spots, but he got to start that, and he hit a big grand slam for the Tigers right there to put that one out of reach, and the Tigers kind of cruised that night, but I think there was some concern. I don't know if concerning is the right thing to say, but there was some things that kind of look concerning. But I mean, Cade Anderson, he did what you needed him to do. He gave up the early run, but he was able to shut down really the West Virginia offense the rest of the game, and then it was LSU scores an onslaught of runs, and you're up 10-1, and then Anderson gave up 4 or 5 more runs than he has all year up the remainder of his outing. But I think I could sit here and be concerned with Cade Anderson's stat line in that ball game, but I'm really not. I mean, he had a couple innings where he sat in the dugout for an hour, it felt like. So I'm not too concerned. At that point, I think you were just trying to let the ball go into play and get outs at that point. And he gave up a couple runs right there, but there's nothing to be concerned about Anderson, what he did right there. You're up 10-1, so you can afford to. I don't think he wanted to give up what he did, but as a fan, I'm not too worried about him going into. I'm guessing we could. I don't know what's going to happen with pitching as Einson and Anderson can go. They're pretty much number ones, as I'd put it. None of them's the wrong choice, but I don't think anyone should be concerned, or I'm not concerned of Cade Anderson's outing going into the Arkansas game on Saturday. But Friday was a very actually Saturday was a very interesting game between the two, because West Virginia needed a win that game, but it was kind of like West Virginia needed the win, but LSU was at the end they took care of business, but it was kind of stressful throughout because LSU scores an early run in the first inning, and then they score 5 in the second inning, and then I'm sitting there, and I'm sure other Tiger fans are sitting there, and they're like, all right, we got this game on cruise control. We got Anthony Ianson on the mound, who has been nails for us, and I mean, he struck out the side, and he had some nasty looking curveballs going for him early in the ball game, and he looked good through one time through West Virginia's lineup right there. But West Virginia, they were a pesky team. They're one of them teams that foul pitches off, force the pitcher to throw, force the pitcher and the defense to be uncomfortable. They want to steal bases. They want to hit and run. They want to do all this manufacturing runs, as I want to say. They're going to get on base, and they're going to try to manufacture stuff, and they're not the team that was going to hit the long ball and stuff, so they had to find ways to score runs. But I mean, Anthony Ianson looked good through the first, let's say, 2-3 innings, but then he and LSU's up 6-0, so I mean, you gotta be feeling great if you're LSU, right? Well, what happened in the next couple innings didn't make you feel so great at all. And mind you, there was a 3-hour weather delay earlier in this ball game. Actually, it's supposed to start at 6 o'clock Eastern time, but it ended up getting pushed 3 hours back. So it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. So it's another rain delay for the Tigers, which they have been pretty good playing in delays. So credit to them for finding a way. But back to the ball game here. Anthony Einson, it looked like he just lost control and wasn't able to find much of a rhythm anymore, as he gave up a couple home runs as West Virginia cuts the lead 6-3, and then Einson gives up another run, so West Virginia's battling back. They're down 6-4 all of a sudden, and then hats off to Cooper Williams, who, after Einson hits someone by a pitch, which that's really uncharacteristic by Einson. If you guys watch him pitch, he doesn't allow many walks or home runs, and he's top 3 in strikeouts in the country, but he just didn't have his best stuff, really, and he gave up 4 or 5 runs right there. Didn't have his best stuff. And like I said about Doyle earlier on the show, maybe it was because he had to come Monday and pitch a couple high leverage situations. But don't get me wrong, Einson didn't pitch bad. He was efficient enough, and he gave the Tigers a chance to win. It was just kind of maybe the Tigers' bats. You scored 6 early runs, but you kind of just was stagnant at the plate a little bit right there. So nothing right there, but Cooper Williams comes in after enhance a runner after Einson hits someone by a pitch, and at that point I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. It's getting wild now. It's cardiac Tigers, but no one plays better than the LSU Tigers late at night at Alex Box Stadium. So Cooper Williams comes in there and gets 3 huge outs, and then all of a sudden the tide turns to the Tigers. They're calling Baton Rouge at the box. And once that song comes on to play, you're clapping. Woo! Oh, calling Baton Rouge, calling Baton Rouge, calling Baton Rouge. Operator 1P13, God could not love, cost him all loved in a Baton Rouge. They're singing that song, folks. And then the Tigers' bats comes alive. Tigers get a couple runs on. You're up 6-4. This was in the 7th inning. The Tigers score 6 runs. You're singing. Everyone's vibing. You got the first 2 runners of the inning on right there. You got Chris Stanfield plays the ball to the shift awesomely. A great piece of hitting by Chris Stanfield right there. And then 2 runs score, and the Tigers are up 8-4, and the Tigers can finally breathe a little bit. It's 8-4 right there, and for me, honestly, that felt like a really breath of fresh air right there, as you're like, we're up 8-4, and we still got Kason Evans in the bullpen. We still got Kason Evans in the bullpen to finish this thing out, because that's 100% what I'm thinking. If you don't scratch a run across in this inning, anymore in this inning, you gotta get Kason Evans up right here, and you gotta go to your best arm in the bullpen, who Kason Evans was absolute nails on Monday against Little Rock. 7 strong innings for him. You're thinking, we're going to go to Kason Evans here and we're going to get the win. But the Tigers had other plans. They're up 8-4, but a base running mistake at third right there kind of like, oh man, you gave them an out essentially. But the Tigers bats came through right there, and Josh Pearson, I said him and Jake Brown kind of switch positions. They kind of fluctuate right there. And Jake Brown comes to the plate in the 7th inning. Jake Brown comes to the plate, 2-run homer, and the Tigers, you felt great right there. It was, I don't know what time that home run happened at my house. I don't know what time of night it was, but I'm telling you, sometimes when I watch the Tigers, I gotta be really quiet because sometimes there's people in bed. So I kind of gotta watch my tone when it gets late at night, because you know, don't want to wake up the whole house or your sleeping dogs or your pet duck. You don't want to wake them up. So, but Jake Brown hit an absolute nuke to straightaway center field, and the Tigers go up 12-4. And that's when I was feeling great. I was ready to sing. I was ready to sing Louisiana Saturday Night. I was ready to sing. I mean, I was I was fired up right there, and I knew it. I was like, the Tigers are going to freaking Omaha. The Tigers are going to Omaha. Jake Brown unleashes one straightaway center. Jake Brown moonshot. Woo! Woo! Moonshot. 12-4. Tigers win. Woo! We're going to Omaha, baby. Victory lap time. Victory lap time. Rocco's better be making the jello shots. Woo! Woo! We're going to Omaha, baby. I'm just letting it all out for you guys tonight. I mean, this is why Coastal Smoke was made. It's literally unedited version of me just being passionate about sports and cigars. I mean, I'm very passionate. This is what I love to do, and I might have screamed a lot tonight, but you know what? We're vibing, and that's what Coastal Smoke is all about. But Jake Brown moonshot straightaway center field. Tigers win. I mean, that was in the 7th inning, but I mean, it felt great as a Tiger fan. You were up 6-4 going into that inning, and you're like, North Carolina, West Virginia kind of has the momentum right there, but I mean, you kind of felt uneasy as an LSU fan right there, because I mean, you just wanted to win this one so bad, so you didn't have to go to Monday. Which I was confident if they had to go to Monday, they would win that game. But it just felt like a breath of fresh air right there. And then here's the great thing about that 6th-run inning. I mean, after Williams, your Chase Shores comes into the ball game, and he's able to get you your last however many outs there was remaining in that ball game. So Chase Shores comes in. He throws 101 miles an hour, and I mean, you feel good when Chase Shores is on and he's throwing strikes like that. He's a hard player to hit. He's a hard player to hit, and he was absolute nails at the end of this game, and the Tigers were able to celebrate that night, and they're going to Omaha for the second time under Jay Johnson's tenure, and the second time in 4 years that Johnson has been there. So it feels really good that the Tigers punch their ticket back to Omaha, and you were able. The good thing is, prior to that inning, it was undoubtedly Kason Evans is coming into this game to finish this thing off. After you put up 6 runs and you lead 12-4 right there, you don't need Kason Evans anymore. You just bring Chase Shores or Jaden Newt or Cooper Williams or DJ Primo into the ball game right there. You bring them guys in there, and what it was good for Kason Evans. I think he would have been fine, but Monday night he threw 109 pitches. That's a lot of pitches for a reliever and called in that situation, but it was probably nice that he didn't have to pitch, but it was nice to see what this bullpen and what everyone's capable of, because the Tigers are absolutely capable they have a legit shot at winning this College World Series. A legit shot at winning it, and it starts with Arkansas on Saturday night. I mean, that's a tough first round game, but if I look here at LSU's side of the bracket, I mean, they got Murray State and UCLA on their in their part of the bracket. But I mean, like I said earlier in the show, Murray State, they're going to be playing with house money, and I think UCLA is going to have something to say about this pod. But I mean, it's a tough pod, but I see a way LSU can absolutely win the College World Series. So well, with that being said, I'm not the very best at predictions, but I think maybe I should maybe predict. I think I'm gonna give you guys my prediction right now. So let's talk about these Friday games. At 2 o'clock, Arizona and Coastal Carolina kick things off, followed by Louisville and Oregon State. That I mean, this is just so tough to pick a winner right here. I think uh I see a route where Arizona can go through it. Coastal Carolina, I mean, they got their long winning streak going right now, so they're not going to be an easy out. Oregon State, I mean, I'm I don't think I gave them enough respect last time, but I see a path where they can win it. But I think my a prediction right here will win this first pod and make the championship series right here would I think I'm gonna go with Coastal Carolina. I think I'm gonna go with the Chanticleers. I think I think they're good enough. I think they can beat Arizona in that first round. I think they'll battle Oregon State in a winners bracket game, but I do think maybe Coastal Carolina falls once, but I think maybe if they lose, I think they can come back and win the next game and put them in the championship game. So I think I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina in pod 1 is what I'm going to call it, the Friday games. And then we'll move on to Saturday. It's Murray State and UCLA at 2 o'clock. And then it's going to be LSU and Arkansas at 7. So, I think I'm going to go with UCLA for the 2 o'clock game. I think Murray State's a really good ball team, and they're riding high momentum right there, right into Omaha. But I think it's not going to be a letdown. But I think UCLA just gets by the Racers to put themselves in a winners bracket game. In LSU and Arkansas. I think this is a tough one because LSU and Arkansas played, but that was at Alec Box Stadium where LSU they didn't lose a home series at all this year, but which is really really good, but they had their struggles on the road. They got swept by Auburn. They lost 2 out of 3 at Texas in Texas A&M. They were able to beat Oklahoma and South Carolina on the road, but LSU had their struggles on the road. So I'm interested to see how the Tigers are going to play in Omaha. But it's also Alex Box North, so the Tiger fans are going to show up, and it's going to be essentially almost like an LSU home game. So I think Arkansas, they got Zach Root, a really good pitcher. They got the hitting. They got everything, but they're two of the top defenses in the league, two of the top pitching staffs in the league. So I think this is going to be a really low scoring. I think it's going to come down to the defense. Who can play cleaner on the defensive end between these two teams? Because I don't think you're going to hit. I don't think you're going to go to Omaha and you're going to see a team bash 7 or 8 homers in one ball game. I think that ballpark's a big ballpark, but there's going to be home runs hit in it. There's going to be home runs hit, but it's a bigger ballpark, and I think the ballpark's probably going to be more of a factor right there. And I think the LSU-Arkansas matchup comes down to who plays better defense. But I think the Tigers get by the Razorbacks into the winner's bracket. So that would put LSU and UCLA and Arkansas and Murray State. I think Arkansas gets by Murray State. It would be an absolute cool story and everything. I see Murray State pull everything out, but I just on this part of the bracket, I just don't see I think the other 3 teams are just a little too much for Murray State, but I could be dead wrong, and if Murray State wins it, I hope I am dead wrong. I'll eat my words if Murray State wins this pod, and I'll show my apologies to them, but I just think the other 3 teams in this pod are better. So I think Arkansas beats Murray State in their second game. Then I think LSU beats UCLA. So, I hope I don't sound too homerish, because I'm trying my best to think about a path for each team. But I think LSU's sitting in the winner's bracket with 2 wins right here. I think Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson, 2 of the best pitchers in the country statistically, I think they're able to get the Tigers their first 2 wins. But then that brings up LSU and Arkansas again. I kind of think Arkansas gets the Tigers this time. I think the Tigers are going to drop one, but I think they come back the next night and win. So I think your World Series is going to be LSU and Coastal Carolina. I think, and that's going to be an interesting matchup too, because the last time LSU and Coastal Carolina played in the postseason, that was at Alex Box, and Coastal Carolina actually beat them to go to Omaha and win the World Series that year. So this is kind of an intriguing matchup right here between LSU and Coastal Carolina. But I think I'd really love to surprise you guys right now. I'd really love to. But give me the Tigers in a 2 out of 3 game series, and boom, we're the college national champions, baby. Woo! Woo! College national champions, go Tigers! I think the Tigers win. I absolutely 100% do. And if that was a little too passionate, I'm sorry, but like I said, I'm just a passionate guy, and I'm fired up right now. I am fired up. I could go on for another hour and 50 minutes on this show, but I don't know what we would talk about, but I'm so fired up right now. It's absolutely been awesome to be here with you guys. I said it in the middle of the show. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on them notifications. Like this video. Tune into X. Tune into Instagram, and tune into TikTok, as we got some awesome coverage coming for you. So, tune into everything, folks. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun ride. We're going to get to some more sports. So don't worry for you football folks and basketball folks. We're going to start with all our football talk in 2 weeks. 2 weeks begins a football talk into the preseason, and then what I think is going to happen on this show is I think we're just going to go by season, honestly. So I think after baseball season gets over, we'll go into football. We'll talk football all season, and then we'll get to that point where we talk basketball, and then we'll get to that point where we talk spring sports. So I think that's how this show is going to go. But then again, I might decide a whole nother new different idea on my own in the middle at 1:30 a.m. at night. I might just decide something completely crazier. I mean, I don't know, but my plan is to go sport by sport. We got baseball now. We got football. We'll talk about all our fall sports and not just football. We'll get volleyball and golf, and we'll get everything in there. So don't worry. There's going to be plenty to talk about. And then we'll get into our winter sports, and then we'll bring back to our spring sports. So that's kind of how I envision this show to run. So I appreciate you guys watching tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great week. See you next time.